Welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the modifier and its type. Modifiers are the keywords that you add to those definitions to change their meanings. Java language has a wide range of modifiers, including Java access modifier and non-access modifier. To use a modifier, you include its keyword in the definition of a class, method, or variable. The modifier precedes the rest of the statement. Now you just simply see the example of the modifier. So here you can see public and class and the class name. Then leave it this class body. We just come to the private and then here I just write boolean and write my flag. Now after this I just write static and the final keyword and double. So doubles are weeks. So week is equal to, I just write 9.5. Then I just go to the protected class. Now I just write here protected. So protected is static and the final keyword, and then I just write int, and int here is box width, which is equal to 45. Now here I just write public, and it's public static void main, and then I just write string and arguments, and then the body of the method here. So what is the work of the private class here? A private number is only accessible within the same class as it is declared. A member with no access modifier is only accessible within the classes in the same package. A protected member is accessible within all classes in the same package and within the subclasses in other packages. Now we just see the protected class. So the protected class is a member, method, or variable. It's just like a package private. Default visibility expect that it also can be accessed from subclass. Since there is no such a concept as subpackages or a package inheritance in the Java. We learn about inheritance in next upcoming tutorials. So declaring a class protected or a package private would be the same thing. So now we just go to the access modifiers. So Java provide a number of access modifiers to set the access level of classes, variable methods, and constructors. Here, four access levels are visible to the package. The default no modifier are needed. Visible to the classes only, which is the private here. Visible to the word, which is public. So public is accessing in all the classes or all the package. So public is visible to all the word. So now visible to the package and all the subclasses are protected. So here we have no modifier, then private, public, and the protected. Now we just see now we see what is default access modifier. We also call it non-keyword. Default access modifier means we do not explicitly declare an access modifier for a class, field, and method abstraction. A variable or method declared without any access control modifier is available to any other class. In the same package, the field in an interface are implicitly public, static, final, and the method in an interface are by default public. Now here the example of non-keyword default access modifier. So I just remove this one, and here I just write, or I just remove this all. So here I just write a string, and string is a version which is equal to 1.5.1, and then I write boolean and then process order. Okay, and then it's return the value which is true. So this is called non-keyword access modifier, which is a default modifier. Now we just go to the private access modifier. So it's a private modifier. So methods, variables, and constructors that are declared private can only be accessed within the declare class itself. Private access modifier is the most restrictive access level. Class and interface cannot be private. Variables that are declared private can be accessed outside the class if public gather method are present in the class. Using the private modifier is a main way that an object encapsulates itself and hide data from the outside world. So here we use the private access modifier. Now we just see the example of this private access modifier, and here I just write private and then string and format. Okay, and then public string, and we just get that format. So format. So this is a format here, and now I just write return, and return is a this keyword and then format. Now we just go to the public class. So public void, and here I just set the format. So now I just write string, and string is the format here. Now this keyword and then format, which is equal to format. Okay, here the format variable of the access modifier class is a private, so there is no way for other classes to retrieve or set its value directly. So to make this variable available to the outside world, we define two public methods, which is getFormat, which return the value of format, and then the setFormat, which is a string and which set its value here. So now we just go to the public access modifier. A class method constructor interface structure declare a public can be accessed from any other class. Therefore, fields, methods, blocks declared inside a public class can be accessed from any class belong to the Java universe. However, if the public class we are trying to access is in a different package, then the public class still need to be imported because of class inheritance. All public methods are variables of a class and inherited by its subclass. We learn about the inheritance in next upcoming tutorials, but here you just need to understand that what is the access modifiers public, public, private, and protected. So here I just remove this one, and then how to set the public class. So public we just already used in our alt lectures and the examples, and here public static void and then main and string. So string here, and then you can write the arguments. So these are the public class. So the main method of an application has to public, otherwise it could not be called by the Java interpreter such as Java to return the class. Means you can always write the main method for an application when you declare the public class. Now we just go to the protected class. variables, methods, and the constructor, which are declared protected in a a superclass, can be accessed only by the subclasses in other packages or any class within the package of protected member class. The protected access modifier cannot be applied to class and interface methods. Field can be declared protected. However, methods and fields in an interface cannot be declared protected. Protected access gave the subclass a chance to use the helper method or variable, while preventing a non-rated class from trying to use it. Now we just see the example of protected class. So here is the access modifier. So I'm just giving an example here for a audio player. So I just remove this one, and here I just write after this. So these are the implementation details area. No, sorry, it's was not implementation detail area. So here after this I just write protected and boolean, then I just write open speaker, and then here I just write speaker sp, a short form of speaker. So here this is the implementations detail area. So I just leave this one and then go to the class. So here I just write class, creating a new class here, so which is streaming audio player. Okay, so this is a class name, and then I just write boolean and open speaker, and here I just write speaker sp. Okay, and then I just write this, then this is the implementations details area. So let's see what I did here. Here, if we define open speaker, you can see open speaker. So the open speaker method is a private, then it would not be accessible from any other class. Then our this means the class name, which is access modifier. So if we define it as a public, then it would become accessible to all the outside world. But other intentions is to expose with method to it subclasses only. That's why we have used protected modifier. Now we see the non-access modifiers. Java provide a number of non-access modifiers to achieve many other functionalities. The static modifier for creating the class methods and the variables. The final modifier for finalizing the implementation of classes, methods, and the variables. And the third number, the abstract modifier for creating the abstract classes and the methods. And at the last, we have the synchronized and volatile, volatile modifiers, which are used for threads. Now we see the static modifier. So the static keyword used to create the methods that will exist independently of any instance created for the class. Static method do not use any instance variable of any object of the class. They are defined in static methods. Take all the data from parameters and compute something to those parameters with no reference to variable. Class variable and the methods can be accessed using the class name followed by a dot and the name of the variable or a method. Now we see the example of this static modifier. So here I just write public class instance counter. Okay, now here I just write private, and I just remove this one. So private is static void, and it's a p is a small p here, and the private static void static integer, and then number instance, which is equal to 0. Then protected static and the int. So here I just write get count, and then and here I just write return and num instance. Okay, now here I just write public, sorry, it's private here, and private static void, and here I just write add instance. So add instance, and then it's add instance here. Okay, now I just write num instance plus plus. Okay, and then instance counter and instance counter here, which is dot add instance. Okay, now public static void main and string arguments. Okay, and here I write system dot out dot print line, which is starting with, sorry, it's with, and then I just concatenate instance counter dot get count, and then plus instance. Okay, now I just use for loop here. So we learn about the loops in our next upcoming tutorials. So here I just write for int and I, which is less than 500, and then I just write I plus plus. So now new and instance counter, and then close this code here, and then go to the system dot out dot print line and created plus instance counter dot get count. So here I start plus and then instance. Okay, so this is example of this static modifier. Now we just go to the final variable. A final variable can be explicitly initialized only once. A reference variable declared final can never be reassigned to refer to a different object. However, the data within the object can be changed. So the state of the object can be changed but not the reference. With variables, the final modifier often is used with static to make the constant a class variable. Now I just remove this example and then go to the final variable. So final is a keyword. So final int and value, and the value which is equal to 10. Then public static and final int and any name like nd which is equal to 6. Then static final and it's final and string and then title. Okay, so title which is equal to, I just write developer. Okay, and then here I just write public void change, and the change value is, here I just write value, and then I just write value which is equal to 12. So here this value will give error. Here we all declare, in this section we just all declare the constructs, means, sorry, not a construct, it's a declaring all the constants values. So this is a process to declare the final variable. Now you can also be declare final as a method. So a final method cannot be overridden by any subclasses. As I told you, the final modifier prevents a method from being modified in a subclass. So you can also declare a final as a method. So you can see public, and here I just write public final, and I just remove this one, and you can see final void, and here I just write change name. Okay, so this is to declare the method final. So you can see the public final and then void and change name, so method name here. You can also declare final as a class, like the main purpose of using a class being declared as a final is to prevent the class from being subclassed. If a class is marked as a final, then no class can inherit any feature from the final class. So you can see like public and final class which is test, and this is the body of the class. Okay, now we just turn to the access modifier. So here, yes, I just remove this. So an abstract class never be initiated. If a class is declared as abstract, then the sole purpose is for the class to be extended. A class cannot be both abstract and final, since a final class cannot be extended. If a class contains abstract method, then the class should be declared abstract. Otherwise, a compile error will be thrown. An abstract class may contain both abstract method as well normal method. Now you just see the example of this abstract class. So in abstract class we have in abstract modifier we have abstract class, abstract modifier. So we have the two types here. So here you can see how to declare the abstract class. So abstract and then the class. So class name I just write Fayaz. Okay, so this is the abstract class, and then you can write private and double price. So this is a method of declaring the abstract class. Now we just see how to declare the abstract methods. An abstract method is a method declared without any implementation. The method body implementation is provided by the subclass. Abstract method can never be final or strict. Any class that extends an abstract class must implement all the abstract method of the superclass unless the super subclass is also an abstract class. Now you see the example of how to declare the abstract method. So this is our abstract class. So I just remove this, and now you can see here I just write public abstract class, and I just gave it the name which is super class. Okay, then I just write abstract void m. So this is the method what I declared, which is abstract method. So abstract void and the name. Then here I just go to the class subclass and then extends, which is super class. So I just write class and here is a super class. Okay, now I just implement the abstract method here. So void m and then the body. So this is the method of how to declare the abstract method. Now we just go to the synchronize modifier. The synchronized keyword used to indicate that a method can be accessed by only one thread at a time. The synchronized modifier can be applied with any of four access level modifiers. So we have here transient modifier and the volatile modifier. But we just here see how to declare a synchronized modifier. So I just remove this all, and here I just write public and synchronized and then void. So synchronized void and then show details and then the body of the public synchronized modifier. So these are some types of modifier in Java. Thanks for watching this lecture. See you in next lecture.